Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and it's Floral Friday, and we're playing with some wildflowers. I go over the step-by-step wildflower practice. Really simple with the brushes and the paint. No need for drawing or tracing or anything. Little cornflowers, just a really simple flower. If you're a Patreon member, you get bonus content. I show you how to do some of these really delicate ones that are in the background, and if you are on YouTube, you get to see the composition. But yeah, we'll add a bonus for Patreon members. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. This is so easy. Any beginner can do this. I'm telling you guys. Don't freak out. You can do it. Also, if if you don't know my Patreon, I have exclusive tutorials and traceables and ad-free videos over there. So go check it out. Boop, right here. It's just a place people can go and support my channel, which I really appreciate all your support. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, guys. So to begin with, I'm just going to go over some supplies that I have here. I just have a bunch of scrap pieces of my Arches 100% cotton cold pressed paper. You don't have to have this necessarily for this particular exercise because we're just playing with practice here. Water jars, paper towels, and paints. Go over them as I use them. I'm going to be working with a new brush today, a Princeton Neptune number 10, and I'll be working with probably my number 4 long round and I might be working with my number 8 too, but I'm going to just really kind of stick with these two for now. Basically, there's no need for a drawing tutorial. It's called practice for a reason, because we're going to practice making leaves and petals and flowers. So you don't have to necessarily draw everything. That step, you just go right to paint. And I know some people might be intimidated by that, but trust me, just start to practice, you'll do really well. So let's just practice again with leaves. And, I'm just going to take my Princeton 10, and I'm going to take I have some cadmium yellow deep and some Prussian blue. You can do a 50-50 mix. You can add more or less. Get the color green that you're looking for. I know with wildflowers, you can get light green, dark green. I like this brush right now because it's obviously brand new, so it's fun to play with brand new brushes. I'm going to have a big belly and a nice little pointy tip. So when you get enough water in here, you want like 50-50-50, right? So 50% water, 50% color on both sides. And see, so not super watery, but just like enough to move it around. And I think I have a tutorial. I might try to attach that if I can find it, on just painting leaves. You're just going to use your brush, kind of like you're drawing, right? You hold it that way. That's number 1. That's a good thing to do. And you're going to practice pushing down and pulling up. There's this movement like this. It's like a wave, right? So you're taking the tip and you're pushing down, you're pulling back up. Don't get bogged down if it doesn't hit all of the paper. But that's what you do. You're just practicing making leaves. And so you can make long ones, little ones. You want to just practice with your paintbrush, right? Bendable ones. So he's moving the brush. You got to get used to practicing. Now each brush is going to have a different feel to it. If I practice with the small one, number 4, it's going to be a totally different type of leaf, because it's a long and pointy belly. So you're going to get tinier, more delicate little tiny leaves, right? Just like that. Get used to practicing with the skinny little brush, and then going in and putting in some leaves with that. If you're looking for more rounded, fuller leaves, I have a filbert. It's called a little filbert brush. I have a brush tutorial, by the way. So you get a little teeny rounded petal. Boop. Look at that. The brush does all the work. Otherwise, you're stuck taking a small brush like this, and you're going in and making the circle, right? You're making the circle shape and filling it in. If you want to make your life less hectic, it's good to have a bunch of brushes. So now we practice leaves for this tutorial. We're going to practice petals. So let's just take that filbert brush again, since it makes perfect little rounded petals. I'm going to take my magenta here. I'll take a little bit of this yellow, cadmium yellow deep, and I'll add a little more magenta. So it's probably like 70% magenta, 30% yellow, and you get this pretty kind of pinky red. And again, with the leaves and the petals, you're just pushing down. See, you've already created this really simple, kind of like a daisy leaf. When you're pushing down and you're coming towards the center. This is practice 101. Now, of course, that flower is kind of head on. I wouldn't actually normally paint that. I'm gonna add a little more magenta because I want it a little bit pinker. I wouldn't paint the flower kind of head on. I would paint it kind of petals are looping this way, that way, downward. So you would go like this. So I'm kind of twisting my arm a little bit. And I moved it this way. See? And then you would put the center here. And then if you want a half flower, like this. You see what I'm saying? Now, I could do something similar with the Neptune, number 10 brush. It's going to have a pointier leaf, petal at the end. But you maneuver it similar, just moving the brush around. Now, if you wanted a rounder petal with this brush, you're going to have to do this movement like this. So you're doing a sweeping movement. See? And then filling it in, sweeping and filling it in. You really need to just practice with your brushes. Sweeping, filling it in. And you get the rounded petal. So like I have some scraps here, like I said, just simple scraps. And then at the end, I'll have a composition we can talk about composition. How we can do the flowers. I'll have a bonus there for the Patreon members, some more flowers, additional flowers. So if you're a Patreon member, you get to download the ad-free / bonus tutorial. And the rest of everybody just go on and we're going to work on some wildflowers. I love wildflowers because they're so much fun. And you know what? You don't have to get bogged down like a particular type of flower. You can create your own wildflowers. And it's very simple to do. So again, I'm going to take I take the yellow, let's make a green. Cadmium yellow green, I'm making the Prussian blue. Got this really pretty bright green. So we're going to just take the tip, use it like a pencil, and I always use my pinky on the paper, see that, as a guide. Kind of curve the line. If you have the pinky down, you have the control. Curve the line, right? Then from there, we're going to have my pinky there. See, it's kind of up in the air, the brush. If you look like this, you may not have this control. If you have your pinky down, you have control. You're going to take it from here and going to push down and pull back. See that? And from here, push down, pull back. If they overlap, that's fine. That's great. From the other side, up and down. It's like a little game, right? And then one out here. I might add a little more blue, get a little deeper green, and a touch of magenta to get that darker green. Because I want a different variety of, I want the same green, but I want it just a little bit darker. So I've added the darker green. I'm going to put the stem out like that. You can kind of go back on this one if you didn't like that one. Keep some light ones though. Already we're creating a cool looking stem. So I go back up here. I'm just going to extend that. From here, I'm going to make these little marks that come out like this, separate. Just like that, right? And we're going to grab some magenta. And then we're going to make these little, I'm going to zoom in so you can see, simple little flower marks. Just like little V's. See? 1, 2, 3. Boop, boop, boop. just like that. You can have them touching that little stem it's off of, and some that are not. You can have some that are in here. And here. And little ones in here. And then some little teeny ones going towards the top. So you get this really pretty, simple flower. I mean, really, did that take much effort? I don't think it did. Could put another little one in here. Just fill it in a little bit. Just like that. And already it's like the cutest little wildflower, right? If you want to get a little technical, you can go back in and get some Prussian blue, get a little darker green again. Grab a little red. See how I mixed it to make this dark green? It's a little bit, you just kind of play around with getting that color with the green, the blue, and the red. I mean, the magenta. And then I'm going to go in here and add just this little kind of like marks. Just to fill it in a little more. Again, you can go back over the leaf again since it dried if you want to get it a little bit darker. And the stem too. Just get a little bit darker. You don't have to do that. You could have just left it really bright green. I might go back in and add just a little touch bright green. So I'm adding yellow to this color that I already had mixed. I'm just going to go in and add a crossover leaf. That's bright. But, you know, look how cute and simple that was. That would be our first one. You could also, to get even more technical, I might grab a smaller brush, but I can still use that one if it's hard for you to use the bigger one. Get a little bit darker pink. See, I'm making a little bit more. I used more magenta, a teeny bit of yellow, and now the pink is darker. And just on the bottom area, add that darker shade. Just making these little marks, little lines. And that is just going to add that little bit of something to your flower. Not to make it more realistic, but it just gives it a little bit of punch. Did you see how easy that was to do? I'm telling you guys, you can do this. Let's do another one. Let's do like a yellow type flower. Black-eyed Susans, love them. Have them on my side of my yard. Super, super easy. Come on, you can do this. So they have really dark green. So I've got this green already mixed up. I'm gonna go grab some more Prussian blue, some of that yellow. Gonna keep mixing it. It's kind of like a 50-50, and then I throw in a little of the magenta just to get it toned down a little bit, and maybe some more Prussian blue. So maybe the blue and the yellow combination is, you know, 80-20. So here we're gonna take this brush again. This is the Princeton 10. We're gonna curve it this way, right? Simple leaves. They're kind of big leaves. Go like that. I'm gonna push this brush down, pull up just a little bit on the tip, right? You can go like this. This paper is really soaking up, so it's not really having that movement that I like, but. And then another one here. Again, this movement. Just like that. And then we're going to work on the petals. So you could use this brush, or you could use the filbert. So I'm going to grab my cadmium yellow deep. I'm going to add a little bit of that magenta. Just a touch. So I'm just making a little bit of this magenta in here just to dull down that yellow so it's more of a slight orangey yellow. And then we're going to take our brush again. You can just push down and pull back the leaves. And if you want it a little more rounded, you can take the tip and just do that little circular motion. See? Just kind of moving the brush down and pulling it back like that. We want to kind of keep it on its side. When this dries, we'll go in and put the dark black brown center. And I'll put a little leaf in here. See how simple that was? I mean, you could do this again because it's very wet. You don't want to mess with that center right now because it will get really, really, it would bleed. But if you want to make brown from 3 colors, you can grab. I've got some new paints this week, burnt umber and yellow ochre, kind of fun. But you know, basically it's red, magenta, or red, blue, right? And you get purple, and then yellow, and you get brown. Those are the 3 colors. I would add a little more blue, get even darker, red, and yellow. And you get brown again. See, I'm adding it to get a little bit darker. Still. There. That's a really deep colored brown. Or you can just cheat and grab a black or whatever works for you. Now, I would have very minimal paint, water with this. And you're going to do this, the top of it be like this mound. Again, up. See how it's bleeding a little bit? It's a circular mound. And I'll leave like a little white. If it bleeds a little bit, that's nice. I kind of like that look. So then we have a black-eyed Susan. How cute is that? Okay, so now let's work on, how about a simple cornflower? I love the peacock blue. And add a touch of magenta. Kind of like a blue, purple blue. We can start with the actual bloom itself. Gonna water this down. See this over here? Gonna use the same big old brush. I'm getting very loose. And I always tap it on my paper towel. And we're gonna do these really simple movements of like the petals. See? Just like that. One side, the other side. A little bit in the middle. Kind of going like that. It's this crazy like flower. It goes out really simple. You can make another one here. Little hairy flower. Just like that. And then for the bottom of that, grab some of that yellow. I'll mix it back into that green that I had just 5 seconds ago. So now we're just going to take that green and we're going to make a little, you can make a little just like a, not a circle because it's, again, this kind of like dome underneath part. And then just bake the stem, connecting. And then you can just make little leaves that go with it. And that's pretty much it. You can go back into the center part here. Go into my brush, add a little deeper blue, bluish purple. So I'll grab some of that peacock, magenta. Let's get a little darker. And just go right in here and make those little marks again. But that's a simple cornflower. And that's that. And then you can go make another, there's a bunch of different ones. You know, I don't even want to get bogged down with names of particular type of flowers. Let's just practice making your own type of pretty wildflower. A very delicate one. So again, we get this green. We could even use brown for the stem. I'm going to grab some of this greenish brown color. I'm just going to take the tip again. I'm going to go like this. And then you can make these stems kind of coming off like really delicate, like this, crisscrossing, some kind of curving back to the stem and over here. And you get this really delicate stem. From here, you can take some of the green you have, maybe a little bit darker. And just put, you know, the little ball on the end for a bud that's trying to come out over here too. Some buds up here. And then the parts over here, you can grab that same yellow that you had mixed. I'm going to grab a little more magenta and mix in with it. It could be a little more on the yellow side or the orangey yellow side. Maybe this will be a little brighter. And then we're just making these petals that go down. That's a little too bright. Yeah. Gonna tone it down. See? Yellow orange. I just added some orange right in there where I was painting it. just make these marks like that. It's a real delicate one. And you could play around with this all day. I mean, you could take the number 4 paintbrush and then take some of that green and do another delicate one again here. See, just little stems coming off. And then you can make little teeny petal like leaves. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. That's just how simple it can be. Again, doot, doot, doot. And then you can go and make, grab some purple. You can make it with magenta and that blue. And you get this nice peacock blue, purple. And then you just take here, make these simple little purple kind of fuzzy top balls. Again, it's like another wildflower. No particular name, but just a nice delicate wildflower. So we're going to make a little composition. This is like a 6 by 9 inch piece. And we're going to take all those elements that we practice with, and we're going to start to create like a little design. So we have all those practice flowers, which is great. Now you got to practice them in a composition. So you can start just by laying out where you want flowers to go. I might do that first flower going this way, right? I'll add another stem here. You're going to just have all the flowers kind of coming upward, but they're going to move this way and that way. So it looks a little more natural. You can have some that are just way up the top up here, coming down. Just placement of all different flowers. I'm going to have this angle here again, you know, and then you can just play with the leaves with this brush. I'm using the Neptune brush. Those were kind of big. I might go back up here, add some stems off that stem, and then leaves off that. See, we're just moving the brush, creating this really pretty, simple wildflower composition. Again, with this leaf. Stems like this, and then we get to put the black-eyed Susan one in. I'm just going to grab some of my dark green. Really, black-eyed Susans have like a really brown type stem. A lot of these are going this way, so I want to go this way. You know, and then I'll put a bigger leaf. This is how we do it, guys. Just playing around. Adding in that big leaf we talked about. This one I'll have to maneuver. I'll have to push down and then kind of go this way and then fill it in. You can start off making the flowers first. It doesn't really matter either or. I'm just making the stems. See, and stems upon stems. That's how you do it. You're just kind of like overlapping one or the other. You want a variety of dark greens, light greens, and browns. All that good stuff. Same brush. I'm doing on the stem up this way. Just more leaves. Then we can play around with flowers. I didn't do the filbert one. I'm going to add a little peacock blue. Some of this green and make those pretty little leaves we talked about. I'm just playing around. Wildflowers should just be fun and simple and free. And then we have that purple, and you just go in here and make little purple flowers with the filbert. See, it's just like this movement. Doot, doot, little ones. And you're creating this cute little design. So you're just gonna go in and you're gonna fill in all these little areas we talked about with flowers. Back and forth. Oops. Getting that pink. So we had that first flower. You're just gonna make those little marks. I'm using a filbert brush. You can use any kind of brush really to do the same kind of technique. See that? If you want me to go back in and use this bigger brush, I could do that and show you. And again, making those leaves kind of folding outward right on top. Don't be afraid to paint over the other leaves. Just filling that in. And your black-eyed Susan. Can be right here. Just putting that black-eyed Susan in here. We showed you how to do that. Right? Well, that's drying because I don't want to put that center in. We can start making some other pretty flowers. We talked about the cornflower. Getting those colors again. And my brush clank. Could just be kind of hanging out up here, the cornflower. Can make another one here since I didn't draw that in. So you can set the flowers first, or you could do the stems first, or you can do vice versa as you're going along. And I'll add the stem with the little ball on the end. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. You know, you're just playing around with adding stems and flowers and color. That's the fun part of it all. See, just do little stems, little leaves on this one with this big brush. If you just shorten like that movement, you get those little leaves, just like that. This one kind of missing a leaf, right? So we're just gonna go in and stick some leaves, make some just big old bold simple leaves like this, and then add the flower in. And that's that. I'm gonna just throw in another pretty pink flower, or we could put an orange or a yellow one in. I think I might have to do the yellow one. Missing some friends. Like a buttercup. You want to play around with all the color, you know, in different wildflowers, yellow, pinks, blues. Go around the whole entire page. I'm just going to take the peacock and water it down, and I got this nice pretty blue. It's very vibrant. Just kind of peeking it through in other spots there. There you go. And just keep playing around. So here you see I just added some more delicate flowers, just petals and leaves. I'll go back in and you can just put in some really simple kind of delicate little touches on each little petal and leaf. See, I'm just making these little marks like I did before. Put another one in here. Just going to keep going on layers on top of layers. You don't want to overcrowd it too much, but that's pretty much it. And you go back into the cornflower and just kind of tweak that out and tweak some of these little petals and leaves, and you add some more blooms, whatnot. If you want to add some, like, you know, veins in the leaves, you can go ahead and do that. Little delicate touches in the center here. You can add little dark centers. Play around with it, you know, have fun with it. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And yeah, don't forget to check out my Patreon. I have exclusive tutorials there on Thursdays, and traceables and ad-free videos, and some bonus content. So take care, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this watercolor flower practice, and I will speak to you soon.